Hi folks, this is All the Fruit, and after about 5 months I'm back at my little farm in Heidelberg in Germany. Well, not much to harvest in my orchard in April this year. I don't even have rose hips. In some of the previous years I had tons of them even in spring. Yeah, I could harvest a lot of wild herbs and some flowers and leaves from the fruit trees, but I can get the herbs at the moister places where they taste better, and I don't want to jeopardize my fruit harvest. However, I noticed something very interesting. My fig shrub is covered in fruit, which is usually a good sign. It shows you several things. First, it shows you the winter was quite mild, because the winter was not harsh enough, well, to kill the fig branches, which are not very frost hardy, and not even harsh enough to kill the fruits. So lots of fruits on my fig tree. That means if they manage to survive and not wither like this one, we might have quite an early fig harvest. However, some of those figs, they even feel a bit softish. I think some of them might even be kind of edible. I mean, in the Canary Islands I find this sometimes. Edible figs in December, in January, in February, sometimes a couple even on the market. That even on the subtropical Canary Islands, where coastal temperatures almost never fall under 15 degrees, the winter figs are of inferior quality. Let's see. Yeah, it's just of inferior quality, but totally edible. It's an almost ripe fig. Not very sweet, but quite flavorful. But this is not even one of the ripest, or one of the most ripe. Yeah, they are not really ripe. I have to rip them off by force. Here you can see at the peduncle. Well, also, after surviving the whole winter, it seems that a bit of mold has formed inside. But yeah, there seems to be at least one fig. Oh, it's looking ripe. Oh, something fell. But it was not the one fig I wanted to harvest. Where is it? Come on, man, here it is. Okay, now it fell. Just when the branch hit another branch. That's a good sign. It fell voluntarily. The peduncle is completely dry, not fresh like in the other ones. Now, well, ripe figs don't like rain or wet weather. And I guess since they ripen very slowly in winter, this one got moldy inside. Okay, the first two are kind of edible if there are no other fruits in April. They are even kind of worth picking. There are recipes what to do with such figs. Well, I don't want to fall down my rubble wall. I mean, nowadays that might not be anything special. Barely edible figs in April, but imagine before we got all those imported fruits, before railroads and fast steamboats. A couple hundred years ago, this stuff, edible figs in spring, they would have been brought to the local prince or bishop as a present, and maybe boiled with a lot of rare imported sugar and to rare imported spices. Because yeah, even from the Middle Ages on, having exotic fruit and having out of season fruit, and best thing of all, having exotic out of season fruit on your table was a sign of immense wealth. And if you wanted to flex at your neighbors, oh, this one looks even more, well, still quite tough. I need a lot of force to rip them. If you wanted to flex at your neighbors, I mean not your next door neighbors in the city, but this one is ripe and sweet, but also already a bit moldy. Like the bishop in the next parish, or what it is, or the prince or the count or the duke in the next country. Well, you could build a big castle, you could have a big army, you could have giant parties, or you could have out of season and exotic fruits. There was even a time in Britain pineapples were so expensive, they were rented by the day or by the hour, and they were much more expensive to rent than a bunch of workers. So folks, yeah, those are my kind of edible-ish figs in April. Here looking at the leaves of the trees are just developing. The leaves, the buds of the figs are just developing, and I can already eat figs I harvest here in Germany. They are not good at all. But in a month or two, those other ones, they will be better once the leaves come out and can produce sugar for those figs. We will have quite an early fig harvest. Maybe not a big one, but one I'm really looking forward to. So folks, those were figs in April in Germany. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos. Soon the fruit season's gonna start in the beautiful city of Heidelberg. And don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.